This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Well, I'm here with Craig Foster, the CEO of ONDO InsurTech. Just finished a presentation here in London. Thank you very much for joining me. It's good to meet you in person.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you
for the first time. Yes, I know you like the high quality media and you're always having a HD camera on Zoom. So, I see you in good resolution, but of course, seeing you in the flesh is, of course, the best we can get. So how was the investor event, first of all? It's only a small event, but there were lots of very interested people here, weren't there?
Yeah, well, it was great to get the feedback and meet a lot of these people for the first time. But I thought it went well. What did you think the reaction was?
I thought it was pretty good. I think you presented the offer very well. We saw the product in person. There's some good questions from investors. There's some high net worths in the room, some serious players. Of course, your broker, SI Capital, were here as well. So, it's only a small room, but you're only at the start of your journey, aren't you? And you opened the presentation, I think, by saying something like you've got the power to grow into a big tech company. This is the start of the scale-up, and you want to be a world leader in claims prevention. I mean, this is where these kind of stories start, isn't it? In a small little side room in a restaurant in London, growing into something huge. 10 million market cap company today. Of course, it's doubled recently. How excited are you feeling about the future of the company?
Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to convey to the people in the room today. Certainly, my belief in the team is we've got this great opportunity over the next few years to take what is an exciting small technology company and turn that into a really significant, big, exciting technology company. One that was founded here in the UK, one that's listed in London, and that has a product that's made in Britain and exporting those green hardware and services all around the world. So the scale of our ambition is really significant. But obviously, we start from a humble start. We're just at the very beginning of that journey. We're just in the foothills of the mountain because we are, 25 employees today, a 10 million market cap. So, but the reason why we think we can do that and create a world leader in claims prevention technology for insurers is because we have got a unique and proven product that solves a really high value, significant problem, a global problem. And I think on that basis, we've really got the ability to pull it off.
Well, I did like the fact that you brought the first version of the product. I wonder if you can actually show it. It's quite a bit different from, take that and show.
Well, I was showing this to investors because if you think that I'm crazy now, that I think we can create a massive company on the back of what we've got. If you think that sounds crazy, I thought that when this was what the product looked like. So I sounded a lot more crazy back then. So this was version 1 of the product.
That's version 1, and that's a temperature probe that would go into the pipe.
Yeah, this is when we figured out this was a temperature thermistor, and this was like a plug-in version. It's a Raspberry Pi that's in there. But with this, this was one of the first prototype devices. We had about 20 of these made.
Right.
And then this is the way that we figured out that through a non-invasive technology, this was basically a new to the world invention as to how you could detect a leak through a pipe to a very high degree of sensitivity without having to cut the pipe. And it was from this unit that we filed the patents. We now own, I think, almost 30 patents around the world on this core idea.
Indeed. Well, I want to talk, I'll take that off you and get the current version of the product, which is, of course, this one here, so very different, a lot smaller. But explain to me how it works, because you explained it very well in the presentation. It's basically based on temperature.
Yeah, so if you imagine, if this is the pipe where water comes into the house, every time you use water, the temperature of this pipe is going to the temperature of the incoming water. Every time you shut off that tap, the water is stood still in this pipe. And the laws of physics say that if it's stood still, everything will go back to the equilibrium point. So the idea behind the product basically is there's a temperature thermistor here that's measuring the temperature of the incoming water. But there's a second temperature thermistor here that's measuring the ambient temperature. So if there's no leak in the property, every time you stop using water, that water will warm back up and the two readings go back to an equilibrium point. The way that the device is working is, the thing that we discovered is if there's a leak anywhere in the property, and it can be a really tiny leak, if there's a permanent trickle of water through the pipe, then that's a signifier of the leak, and the algorithm will pick that out.
It will never get to the equilibrium point.
There's a permanent delta between the two readings. And that basic idea, we own the patents on all around the world.
So in theory, there could be a leak on the property when someone installs this, and it would pick it up almost immediately.
Yeah.
You talked about the sort of bedding in period of maybe a day or two or something is that to learn about the usage of water in the house, is it? Or?
Yeah, when you first install the device, it starts to run these leak tests. So it's looking for like quiet periods in the property if everyone's out for a couple of hours or when people are asleep at night time. So it's looking for those quiet periods where the water's got enough time to go back to that equilibrium point.
Okay, so it's very easy to install. Is the business model that the insurance company you'll partner with them, we'll talk about them in a moment, and they effectively send this device out to their customer, the homeowner, with instructions of how to install it and an app to set it up?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So the insurer will offer this for free. Obviously, it's a relatively small thing. This arrives in the post. And the installation process is basically you clip that to a pipe.
Yep.
That connects to an app on your phone, connects to your Wi-Fi. And then if we detect a leak, you get an alert to your phone as the homeowner. And then through our app, you can basically book a plumber to come to the house, come and find and fix the problem. So our model with insurers is all of that's free to you as the homeowner, as the home insurance customer. But the insurance companies are paying us in the background to do that. And why would they do it? They do it because it costs less to pay us to do that compared to the claim saving that they get as a result of basically catching these leaks early and preventing those really big home insurance claims.
And what feedback have you had from customers on the actual installation and the setup of this? And of course the ongoing, I guess once it's installed there's not much to do really until perhaps the batteries run out or something.
Yeah. Well, the batteries are designed to last about 5 years. It's a couple of AA batteries. So once you've installed this on the pipe, you don't really need to do anything unless we detect a leak in the property and let you know about that. So it's a really easy installation process. And the customer feedback on the product is really strong. You can have a look online yourself. If you look on Trustpilot, you can see what people say about the product. But I think customers like it because it's a tangible thing from your insurance company. It's normally quite an intangible product when you buy insurance. Yeah. But to get something like this that can protect the home, and especially if you do have a leak, and then we send someone around to the house to come and fix things, and all that's paid for by the insurance company. It's quite a nice value add. I
mean, I'm sure there'll be some customers who will absolutely love this, and they'll be monitoring, themselves if they can access the information, I guess, through the app and monitor it actively. Some won't really care; they'll just want to install it and wait for an alert. But you can have that level of interaction or passiveness depending on your own personal.
Yeah, it's not. To deliver the value for the insurance company, it's really not dependent on a high level of engagement from the homeowner, unless we detect a problem.
Okay. What about people moving house then? I mean, do you need when the new person comes in, do they take it with them, or do they have to reinstall it on their Wi-Fi router? Just practical things.
Yeah, I mean, you could. They could just reinstall it at the new place, and it would.
They could just take it with them to the new place. Okay. Okay, well, I think that covers the technology side of it and how that works. So you've got 30 patents. So that's on the technology here. Yeah. The algorithm you're using as well, presumably. Okay, so that's all protected. Yeah. The business model then is to go to insurers. Yeah. How are you getting on with that? I know you've got a good partnership with Lancia Schaffrengard in Sweden, but I think did you say something like it's only 30? What percentage of penetration did you have with the customers in Sweden through Lancia Schaffrengard? It wasn't very many.
Yeah, so
less than 0.1%. I think I wrote down.
I think that's just if you look at our core markets where we focus at the moment in the United States, the UK, and in Scandinavia. I think our current penetration of the total universe of houses with home insurance is about 0.1%. So we're just scratching the surface even in those core markets. But we were talking a bit today about. I was using Lancia Schaffrengard as an example of just the potential among the deals that we've already signed and we're working on at the moment. It's not like there's a huge amount of upside just with some of those partners. So I think Lancia Schaffrengard in Sweden is a good example of that. I was over there last week for a visit, And it's interesting, they've done a pilot in one particular region. It's the company's split into like 20 odd different regional companies. So it's one of those relatively small regions that's done a pilot. But in that one region, they've got a 40 odd % market share of homes with insurance with Lancashire Schaffengar. And of that customer base, over half of them have got a leak bot. So it's like something like quarter of all the houses in that region have got a leak bot installed. And the results out there have been great. We've delivered the claim saving. They've actually delivered an increase, a really marked increase in new customer growth. There was a result of deploying the technology.
Well, you said that the company was actually seeing a decline in new customers, but in this particular area, they'd seen an increase. Which you're attributing to this product.
So we're really excited about the rollout potential now that the Lancashire Schaffengar Group want to roll this out across the country. They've got almost 2 million home insurance customers in Sweden. They're the market leader. They've got 30 odd % market share. They're we might have not heard of them in the UK especially, but they've got 100% brand awareness. They're the biggest non-life insurance company in Sweden. They've been around for like 180 years, and this is a really core part of their strategy in home insurance going forward.
And how did you get them as a client? Was it a matter of knocking on doors, traditional cold call sales, or was there an in that you had somewhere from the start?
This particular case, it was a conference that we were exhibiting at, and Helen Lonsdale, our partnerships director, happened to get chatting to somebody there. Which led to the initial pilot and then to the rollout that we announced more recently. So
and the business model then, just explain how that works, where your revenue comes from.
Yes, so there's a few component parts to the product generally. There's obviously the actual sensor itself. There's the distribution of that and the delivery of it into the home. Then there's a bit of customer support sometimes. And specifically booking in the repairs and sending an engineer. So basically, we can offer that end-to-end service to an insurance company. So many of our carriers choose us to do all of that, and we charge them for that. And increasingly, the charging model's got more simple over time as well. We'll just charge, a recurring fee that covers all of the costs for these things. Lancashire Schaffengar in Sweden are a good example where they actually had their own existing plumbing network, and they actually decided to do the frontline customer support themselves. So we really, in Sweden, it's more of a pure technology play for us. And the model works just as well if you do it that way around. They've executed it just as well as we could execute it ourselves, and delivered similar kind of results. So there's kind of two slight flavours on whether the partner wants us to do the plumbing side or whether they just want the technology.
Okay, and it's just the one fee that you charge. You talk about this vanilla business model. So how does it? Is it just the one fee per unit?
Yeah, I mean, over time we've charged slightly different pricing mechanisms for the different deals that we've done, and part of the challenge that we've had as a company is the trade-off between an upfront fee, because obviously as an independent company, it's helpful to kind of deliver an immediate cash margin when we do a deal. But also, we know for investors, the real long-run value of this business is in the ongoing recurring fees and the ongoing cash flows that throws off. So I think increasingly we're thinking the right model is just to charge a flat fee, but then in the payment terms ask for a prepayment from the insurance company, which they're more than happy to do. And then it kind of... it's the best of both worlds.
So the prepayment would just cover upfront sort of...
a prepayment for the first 12-month fees for a certain volume of units. So it kind of achieves the same end for us from a cash flow point of view.
And the flat fee, would that be based on... How would you base it on? Like number of policies they want to roll it out onto? Is that how you would do it?
Yeah, so I mean, there's obviously some advantages from a volume point of view at different scale. But to give you an example, in the United States, we might charge it perhaps at like $5 a month, and that would cover the hardware cost. That's $60 a year. We would ask for that upfront on a certain volume, and that
would be per policy, for example.
Yes, per household.
Per household. Okay. Now, a key thing that you talked about in the presentation was, of course, the United States market, and you talked about driving growth. And I think you said something like that it was quite a high number. of water claims damage. What is it? Do you remember what you said about how much it cost? It was like 2 or 3%.
Yeah. So the incidence of water damage claims in the US are similar to in the UK. So about 2% of policyholders will have a claim.
Okay.
The difference is in the United States, the claims cost more. So the average severity of the claim is more about $11,000.
Why is it more expensive to cover the cost of it?
Yeah, well, I think the policies are just more expensive in the US as well. So it's a very good question as to why the difference. But in the US, on average, homeowners will pay $1,100 a year for a home insurance policy. In the UK, the average, I think, is in an equivalent dollars, is more like $330. You know, like £270, something like that is the average amount people pay here. Why is home insurance so cheap in the UK? I think it's a factor of the price comparison sites.
Okay.
The way the UK market is quite specific, the way people switch, and it's driven pricing down a lot. And actually, it's made the cover worse in lots of instances where people have just competed on price. Whereas, in the US market, it's a very different market. People, you still go to the broker on the high street and buy your insurance, you know, through a local agent. Is how a lot of home insurance is sold. So it's quite different to the UK in lots of kind of
different
structural ways.
mindset. I don't think we like insurance necessarily in the UK, whereas the Americans are perhaps more used to having lots and expensive insurance.
Yeah.
But you said you could actually reduce the premium by 70%.
Yeah, so I mean, when we commissioned a piece of research by Consumer Intelligence last year, so you can see the white paper on our website, and we looked at how much can we reduce the claims expenditures by. And it's possible we can reduce that up to about 70% by reducing both the frequency and the average severity of the claims. And this is why the US market is such an exciting opportunity for us, because on average, US insurers are spending over $200 on water damage claims per policy. So there's that much claims cost allocated to every single customer. So a 70% reduction of that is like $140, $150 a year saving. So the potential return on investment for a US carrier, and that's on market average economics across the whole of the US. And this is a market where US carriers are looking for a solution. They've tried other things. They've tried expensive plumbed-in systems, and there's no business case. They've tried the small moisture sensors that are cheap, but they really don't deliver any kind of claim saving. And when we approach US carriers with our solution, they can immediately see it's very different to anything else that they've tested in the past. So we're really excited about the pipeline in the US, and we're very excited to share the results of that as things unfold this year.
So the product offers and the service that you offer reduces the cost for insurance companies, which they're happy with, because they want to pay out big fees to fix water leaks if they can be prevented. And they can pass on some of that mitigated risk cost then to their end user, the homeowners. So it's effectively a win-win for everyone, really. You talked there just about other products. There's not much of the competition for what you've got. Do you feel you've locked it down pretty well with the product and of course the patents you've got, compared to the other products that are out there that we spoke about, these moisture detectors, which are not very accurate, really? Yeah,
I think that's why we're in such a unique position. There's nothing else like our product being offered to insurance companies. And especially in the US, they've tried a lot of these other products. And so the Internet of Things has long kind of held a promise that it might offer a technological solution to this problem. But the insurers have tried those other solutions, and yet they're either too expensive and there's no real business case, or they're cheap, but they just don't deliver any actual commercial benefit when it comes to the claim savings. So in that regard, we've got a really unique proposition, which goes back to the start point. That's why I'm so confident that we're going to be able to build a really significant business on starting with this first product with LeakBot.
And you've got a great case study there with Lancashire Guard. That's something you can take forward to other new potential customers that you might find, because they're rolling it out across the rest of their business. You said you have 12 live partnerships. That's in the UK, the US, and Sweden.
And Denmark.
And Denmark as well. Okay. You recently had quite a big win in the United States, didn't you, with WNS?
Yeah.
Now, WNS, I understand that they sort of, I want to look after is the right word, but they cover a lot of insurance companies.
Yeah.
Can you just explain who WNS are and how they work and why getting in with them is a really great win for ONDO.
Yeah, sure. So they're a really great company. They're a business process management company. So they do the kind of claims handling operations and other business processes on behalf of insurance companies. So they're, $4 billion market cap company. They're listed on the New York Stock Exchange. They're already a market leader on providing those types of services to insurers in Europe. They want to grow a lot in the United States. So yeah, we're starting a go-to-market partnership with them so they can build in LeakBot into their proposition to insurers and offer guaranteed results on the back of deploying the LeakBot. So yeah, it's a great go-to-market partnership for us, and definitely helps us on the way to building that credibility, especially in the United States as well.
Because cracking a market like the US is a tough cookie to crack. But once you crack it, I mean, it's an awesome opportunity. You talked in the presentation about having a team, or it's one guy effectively representing ONDO in the United States. And someone mentioned that's not very many people to cover the United States. But I think you explained that with WNS, that actually gives you access to a sales force there, because they're going to go to all their insurance companies that they deal with and effectively sell for you. Yeah,
that's right. And it's not an exclusive partnership with them either. So our guy Jim is still, he's an insurance company expert. He's building a pipeline of deals. And our approach was, we've been quite tactical to look at kind of state-by-state deployments that we can do with insurance companies, from our own pipeline, which helps kind of gain momentum in the US, because we're starting from being a fairly unknown quantity in the US. They get that we've got a different product, they get it's different to anything else on the market, but they're looking to see, is anyone else deploying this product? So Jim's been working on some deals in specific states with carriers, but we're also working on go-to-market partnerships. WNS is the first. What gives us that real, it answers the question when a significant size US insurer says, I see that you've got a different product, it's really exciting. Can I believe if we do a pilot that you guys can scale across 30 states if we ask you to? It's a bit of a leap of faith for a giant US insurer to believe that we can do that as a small, 10 million market cap UK listed company. And I think part of the answer to that is different types of US partnerships. WNS is one, and there may be other ways to help us kind of crack that US market.
So how did you get in with WNS?
That was also through Jim in the US.
So that was the work you did on the ground.
That was all part of what Jim's been doing in the United States. Yeah.
Okay. Well, can you give me an idea, just to finish off on perhaps the upside potential of the market size, first of all? I mean, you said that I think 30% of homes have leaks. So I think everyone knows someone who's had perhaps water damage in there. I mean, some people here were saying they've actually got leak bots installed in their homes at the moment. So there's no doubt there's a market for it. What's the market size in terms of sort of monetary terms for this?
Well, I mean, there's different ways to answer that question. But if you look at publicly available statistics on how much do insurers actually spend on fixing houses from water damage claims, if you take the United States and the UK, that's about £14 billion a year that they spend on putting houses back to how they were before through damage caused by leaks off pipework in the home. So that's the kind of scale of the opportunity that we've got a solution that can reduce that by up to 70% as a result of deploying our technology and going in and fixing these leaks early. So, the market is absolutely huge. And like I say, we're just at the start of this journey. We've got a unique product. We've got some traction. We know the go-to-market model, and we know the kind of way to grow the business, which is, drive more penetration into existing partners, sign more of these deals in those core markets, and maybe use go-to-market partnerships as well to even accelerate that growth further.
So would that be your plans for, let's say, the rest of this year, is to really sign more go-to-market partners?
Yeah.
It's sales, basically. It's getting in with insurance companies around the world, not necessarily just United States and Europe.
Well, the opportunity is much bigger still than in the UK and Scandinavia in the US. At the moment, we are still 25 employees, and we're starting from humble beginnings, right? So we have to be, against my better nature, we have to be really focused. And we do get approached all the time by, there was an insurance company from Switzerland just last week approached us. And what we find is there's a degree of effort to understand the plumbing and understand some of the local variations in a new market. So at the moment, we're sticking to the opportunity with in those core markets. But with more resources, obviously the market opportunity is much bigger than that again.
But you are being approached.
Yeah.
So people are hearing about you and wanting to find out more and potentially partner.
Absolutely.
That's a very good thing. Where would you like to see the company at the end of this year? What certain milestones would you want to achieve? That's a better question, by the end of this year.
Yeah, well, it's frustrating because obviously we've got a management plan. We've got targets over the next year and further than that, and it's the frustration is not being able to share them publicly, which we haven't put any going forward-looking statements out or any plans out into the market, given the nature of the size that we are at the moment. But certainly we're in a fast growth phase at the moment, and obviously the plan is to continue that. And a lot of that will come from the deals that we've already signed, and just making sure we execute on them. And again, beyond that, the growth in the near term is going to come from, deals that are at a late stage already. We're obviously working on a pipeline of stuff where we've got agreements with partners, we're finalising deals. And we're looking forward to being able to announce announce those deals in due course.
Okay. And in terms of the product, though, that's ready to go. There's no other optimization things you've got to do with the actual technology or the product. It's now just about getting out and selling this and getting it into insurance companies.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, we've done a lot of the hard yards, as you see on the journey that we've been on from the product that you saw today. So. We've got manufacturing capacity at the moment. We can double capacity if we need to with overtime. It's relatively easy for us to scale the line. The actual software platform is scalable. So I think the key is just about doing more deals and distributing more devices.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Craig Foster, CEO of ONDO InsurTech.
Thanks. Nice to meet you in person.
You too.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programmes at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.